From the beginning, a warrior prepares for sacrifice. Touched by blood, the sword becomes the soul of its wielder. We fight free of our past as gladiators and slaves, to seek our own renown and honor, to follow our own gods. For the warrior walks a path, but the blade foresees it and remembers it. The blade, however, like the warrior, has its own secrets.
Why, hello! Today I'm playing some Endless Space 2 as the Hissho. Endless Space 2 is probably one of my favorite games of all time, not just 4X. And I've played a lot of it, but I haven't played the Hissho, or rather, I think I've maybe played them very briefly. Not to a full extent. So, what I'm doing this time is a little different than my normal setups when I play, just to help keep things moving along. I've gone with a small galaxy. So there's only 4 people total, including myself, so there's going to be 3 AI. It's on fast speed. And just going to attempt to tear it up as the as the Hissho, and probably conquer everyone, that sort of thing. So, I guess I'm going to attempt to explain everything I am doing, because this is one of those games where it's just like many layers and details. A lot of it is sort of automatic for me now, so it's going to be a little outside of my normal play to explain everything. But a lot of it is also going to be that I am just not familiar with the Hissho, so I'm going to do a lot of things wrong. So, the thing that makes the Hissho unique compared to the other factions is the system of ki, or K, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. So basically, this is their greatest weapon / asset, and also their worst enemy. Effectively, it's your honor. So if you do super cool honor things, everything's hunky-dory, but if you do things that they don't like colonizing, etc., you have to spend this. And if you're low on it, my understanding is it can mess up your empire's efficiency, stability, like the whole 9 yards. But when it's really good, you're very fierce. And you get it by fighting and doing, I think there's buildings you can make that let you slowly get more over time. So this faction is a little bit different. This is one of the ones that when you're on the character selection, they're marked as like advanced, because they're a little weird and wacky. I'm very excited to try them out. So I guess we'll start with research. So Endless Space 2 has a research web. The idea is that compared to a game like Civilization, where you have a bunch of branching paths and they all move along, you discover gunpowder, which then leads to steam power, etc. This is a web, so it's kind of, each chunk of this is sectioned off by type. So down here is like science and exploration, this is like economy, this is warfare, this is empire development. You can research in any order you want. Like you can do one from here, the one from here, the one from here, etc. But the idea is that each wing has these different tiers to them. So for instance, tier 1, okay, I guess this is probably the better example. Tier 1, the only ones I can research is one of these 2, right? But once I research one of them, I unlock the next tier that I can then research. And they're, roughly speaking, twice as expensive. So that also means you want to, keep up your research. Some have requirements, like you can't research these ones without researching that one, that sort of thing. Every faction has unique techs for themselves. Usually, it's not like completely new stuff, though there are a few like that. You can usually tell which ones are unique to you because you'll see this little icon similar to this. This is the Hissho's icon. So use technology specific to the honor-bound affinity. And I think there's a few others that have a sort of, it has this sort of yin-yang, which is just specific to the trait, not necessarily the faction, if that makes sense. So as a result, certain factions are better at certain things than others, very slightly. There's also a bunch of modifiers that they have and things like that. So I start off with this automatically researched, which is nice. I can colonize Mediterranean. I guess maybe I should do a little bit of exploring before I'm willing to go crazy. I guess I'll start with off-world agribuses for now. It looks like my research is pretty good right off the bat, so... Alright, so next up is compared to Civilization, right, where you can just, like, plop out a city a couple tiles away, you just, like, walk over there and there's a city. This game is kind of divided into these nodes that are systems, right? So here's Soidan, right? It's not colonized. If you zoom in here, you can see it's a bunch of little planets. This is how many planets are within the system. So if we go here, we'll see there's the huge lava. It's very good for production. It's inhospitable because I don't have the technology for it yet. We have this huge desert, which has curiosities on it, which I'll explain in a sec. It's an arid. And then we got an ocean. Now, one thing you'll see is that only one of these is colonizable. It's because they have only the technology for that. We don't really know how to settle on a flaming lava planet yet, which is completely understandable. We are birds, after all. Some of these will have anomalies on them, which is what these are. For that, you need to bring over your scout ship. So right off the bat, I have this huge pile of ships. I start with one scout, the Peregrine. I'm going to drive it over here. And then they have, they can do an expedition through here. You can either click on that and it'll bring you in, or you can just zoom in yourself. And you get to pick which ones you want to look at. I only have 2 probes at the moment, which recharge over time. So since the tiny ocean is colonizable, I think I'm going to do that. All right, so the first one I found is this a Hyperium resource deposit, which is sort of kind of like iron from Civilization. You know, it's a strategic resource that you're going to be using mostly for military ships or special buildings or whatever. And then we also have Transvine, which is a luxury resource. All right. To me, this looks like an excellent start. I think the biggest a system can get, I believe, I think it's 5, maybe 6 planets, I think. So like a 4 is pretty good. Generally speaking, systems that are just like 1 planet are not that great. So next we're gonna move our little brood ship over here. And then we're gonna colonize. This consumes the actual colony ship that I clicked on, but we get to colonize it. So colonize the planet. This will consume your colonization ship and create an outpost in the system. The problem with the Hissho is that they don't like to expand. Not at all. They hate the stuff. So you're going to spend a lot of time wrestling them for that. So normally what happens is that you colonize and then you have to kind of wait for it to grow up. I think that process is a little bit different for the Hissho, but we'll see. All right, so now we have our cute little colony here. Now, over time, it's going to grow. Right now, it's going to take 22 turns for it to really kind of get in there. I can also spend K to finish it off very quickly. Just instantly mine. This cost is going to go down over time, because if I spend it right now, that's literally all of it. Which again is earned by fighting. The fairer the fight, the more honor. Earned by discovering and conquering systems. It's lost by retreating, failing an invasion, or losing a system. So you definitely want to hold on to that if you can. Okay. Next up is my behemoth. Only the Hissho start with a behemoth in their hands. These are very, very useful ships. They are big and they stand on their own. And they have certain abilities sometimes. So this one, for example, is giving just a flat bonus to my output, and also I can launch this like little mining probe. So I think I'm going to fly over here. Maybe no. Take a look here. I feel like I want science right off the bat, so I think I'm gonna actually fire the probe at this snow planet. So it's going to give a small percent, 15% of what it grabs, and it's going to hand that to my capital, which is very nice. And it's also going to give me a luxury resource. So we'll go ahead and fire that there. All right, next up is production. So this is what it looks like when you actually own the system. So you get your individual planets, and there's this is where you build stuff. So you got, you can sway them politically. You can build actual like improvements. You can build ships, and then there's a wonder that I can't afford yet for obvious reasons. So I tend to start off with the drone networks because I love production. Cerebral reality is also good because it gives you some science, which kind of is a nice boost early on. I think I'm going to start with these two, and then I'm going to build, I think, 2 scouts. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So each planet has these kind of little slots on them. That's actually population. So you'll see over here I have 3 population, 2 of which are actually Hissho, and then I have 1 Io, however you want to pronounce it. I have 1 other. So different populations have different output. So see here the Hissho down at the bottom left. +1, those little guys are your manpower. See, that's for like stocking ships, that sort of thing. And +1 production. So they're kind of good at production naturally. Whereas these guys, they just give +1 influence if they're on a hot planet, which they are currently. So they're very useful for that. And I think that's it for our first turn. I also have these abilities up here for using my K on. They do have a cost, but they're very powerful. My favorite is probably this one, Wave the Obsidian Eagle, which is just like, you're just greasing your honor a little bit for some production, a pretty crazy amount. But you also get things like if you're under attack, you can, kind of dig in a little bit better, that sort of thing. Oh yes, one last thing. You also have a bunch of heroes in this game. I start with 1. His name is Kokiwa Brightblade. And I love how he looks. So we can see here, he's got his own little ship. So basically, the idea with the heroes is that you can stick them to a system or a fleet of ships, and they can help out. Usually they are very good. So you can put special modules on their ship and stuff, and it's basically like a free combat or utility ship, depending on what they have, which is pretty nice. But they also have these sort of web of skills that they can unlock. They have their own experience points, etc., etc. So you can see right off the bat, he starts with a small bonus here. Plus 10% shield penetration on fleet, or if he's on a system, minus 5% ship industry cost. So generally, I really like having an administrator, but now I'm not sure because he's this is the Hissho, so okay. So I'm gonna do it for now. Is next turn when this ship comes back here, I'm going to assign him to the scout ship, just so he gets some experience in the field, if you will. Yeah. If I had thought of it earlier, I would have. Here, I'll queue that up. So he's out of movement points because I moved him there earlier. Okay. So one of the things that's nice about this is, so he has the movement order queued up. There's a little button over here that's click to order all fleets to execute their planned moves, which is very nice when you have like, say, 12 fleets going in various directions or whatever. You can just press that and they'll move. They'll do their thing. Very useful stuff. I'm gonna set this behemoth just to guard the system, mostly just so I don't get harassed about it. I'm like, hey, you haven't moved that. You haven't moved them. That sort of thing. All right. So now this fleet is back in my home system. I'm gonna assign Brightblade to there. And now we're gonna explore. I guess we'll head this way. Okay, I think that's it for turn 2. Turn 1 is always the one where you're like, okay, where am I at? What am I doing? All right, off-world agribus is done. I think I'm gonna go for the one that lets me get Hyperion, if I don't have that. I do not. So I'm gonna do this one, Plasma Metallurgy. This one lets me get the Hyperion that I found on that ocean planet. And this one, which just gives me a ton of production if there's people on a planet with that. Now, one thing that makes this game unique compared to a game like Civilization is that each faction has their own quest system. They have a sort of cool story that goes along with it, but you also get you get pretty big boons for doing it. Some of them are pretty huge. It's not really ever required to do, but it's one of those things where it's like, you should do it. I don't think for this recording I'm going to read out all this, because sometimes it gets pretty lengthy, and I'm not sure anyone watching this is going to be up for my new audiobook. But if you do play the game, I do recommend reading it. There's a lot of kind of nice set dressing here. So, here I get to choose an objective. Do I want strength or faith? If I choose strength, I am required to build 2 ships of at least 264 defensive power. If I choose faith, I can assimilate 1 new minor faction. I think I'm gonna go with strength. I believe some or all of the quests also have a sort of branching aspect to them, where if you choose certain things, it does change a little bit. Like I know the Horatio, I believe there's like 3 different endings for theirs. Okay. Next up, let's scooch the scout up a little further. Okay, looks like we found a dead end system here. Oh wait, no, it's not dead end. There's another little path. So here's just one little sad tundra planet. Oh, poor guy. So I have the ability to get Hyperion and some production. I think next I'm going to go with planetary landscaping, because it's only going to take me 1 turn, and it's going to give me a building that helps me boost my food. Because growing my population seems very useful. Okay, we've arrived here. How much movement do we have left? 3 out of 4. I was thinking about using that, but then you can't really move after, so I think I'm just gonna continue on. I want to find some good systems, and then I have another scout on the way, so I'll probably use that scout to explore a little more. Alright, next up. Let's see. Colonizing ash might be nice. I guess I should probably start with here and see what's around. So we got cold. Okay, so yeah, so we got 2 cold planets, Arctic and snow, and a toxic planet. Which is like, okay. So here I'm going to start queuing up sustainable farms just so I want more production to grow up. I think also Xeno-industrial infrastructure is going to be really nice. All right. So you'll see now, I've created that ship, and this is the hangar. The ship does not physically exist. Someone could walk up to the planet and start attacking it, and the ship will be safe. I think I'm gonna do this one again for that. So if I look here, he's in the hangar. So to pull him out, you got to select him, and you either select create new fleet from the selected thing, or I think you can also click here. Yeah. Usually I click this one. I actually completely forgot that was an option. That's why I was like, what? So yeah, if I create him, now he's in the field. So now I can have him go places, really. So since this guy's kind of getting lost that way, I'm gonna have him go down here. I bet you there's a planet like about here. Nope, I was very wrong. Okay, maybe there's one down here, I don't know. Guy's just inching along. I should probably choose a technology, says the game. I love that they start out with such strong economic potential. I am also playing on fast, which I'm not used to, so maybe I'm slow. I think I'm gonna go with this. You do also have the option to queue up researches, just by clicking them. So, I guess I'll research that, and then colonizing snow seems really good. I don't really have any steps to worry about. I think I'm gonna go with efficient shielding next. Maybe botanical scanning. Yeah, I'm gonna do botanical scanning, then ships, and then I should do something to help my economy out. So probably astrofinance. So there we go. Now I don't have to worry about queuing up my research anytime soon. All right, I think we're queued up and ready to go. All right, so I just got the ability to build something that's going to boost my science output, as well as colonize a tundra. So now I can colonize there, hooray! I don't want it though. So I'm gonna press this button to move my fleets along. Whoa, I love these guys. The Zermasala. So let's see what we got. They're warmongers. They're an academy ally. Guess I'll say hello to them. Hello. I'll give you the thumbs up. Ching. So this makes them my friends a little bit. So over time, they're gonna like me a little more because I did that. As you reach each new chunk of this, you start getting more and more stuff from them. So I guess I'll check out the anomalies on their system, why not? So they live on a lava planet, they also have an ash planet, and they have a Terran. It's also tempting for me just to crush them. So I guess I'll just go boop, boop. Let's see, there's coral reefs here. Very cool stuff. And then I got a nice chunk of science just for finding that. And then we got seismic activity. And I got a bunch of money for that. So even if it's like you're not going to colonize it, it is good to do that because it gives you extra stuff. All right, this is looking better and better. I'm really tempted now to rush it, but I think I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna treat it like a normal colony for now. Because I've only just started, I don't want to ruin my chances quite yet. So here I went with the skill that lowers the cost on fleets. Okay, finished off my other new ship. So you can also create it while you're in here. So I think once these farms are done, I'm going to be very happy. Then industrial, Xeno-industrial infrastructure, and then I think I'll do the science. And then probably by then I'll probably want to make a brood ship. But until then, I don't really have anything that I'm like, oh, I got to colonize that right now. Yeah, even this place, not that exciting. We got 1 lava, 2 lava, and desert. Not too great. Also, possibly a dead end, I think. So I guess I need to expand this way. Okay. Let's head on up this way. Ah, yes. Hacking is a system. I guess I probably should have mentioned at the start, I have all the expansions for this game. So if you just buy this game on sale without getting any expansions, you won't have to deal with hacking. It's not really a thing. So for that, you can either click up here for the economy scan, which turns you into this kind of like digital mode. You can also press spacebar, which is usually what I do because it's easier for me, but to each their own. So in this expansion, you'll have this kind of hacking console up here. So I'm gonna click on hacking mode, click on my source of the hack, which is gonna be my own planet, and then you pick where you want it to go. So I'm gonna hack the minor faction I found. So it's gonna take 4 turns. Boop. So the way hacking basically works is your hack's gonna work its way down there, then it's gonna run the hack, and then you're done. But as soon as you hit and start actually hacking them, or touch anything that someone else has, they start trying to trace your hack. So pretty much the race is to finish your hack before they can trace it back to you, which is pretty easy early on, but as time goes on, you start getting more and more defensive programs that you can, like, you know, put here or whatever, that make it harder and harder to run the hack successfully. There's also a system where you create backdoors and blah blah blah, but I think I'll probably only really explain that as it becomes more relevant. Pirates and minor civilizations now access to hacking operations. Okay, yeah. I forgot that was a thing. So pirates exist conceptually. They give you a couple turns to get a head start at least. All right, let's shoot some probes here. This place is Polar Tempests, which is a very bad anomaly. Lowers production and food. Got a little bit of influence, which is fine. This place has meteor strikes, which is one of those ones that's always really interesting because it's mixed, right? Like, it gives you extra production per person on it, but it also takes away science per person. early on, you can't really do anything about that. You're just like, well, I guess we're on a planet with meteor strikes now. Oopsie daisy. But later in the game, you start getting the ability to remove these kind of anomalies. All right. Okay, so my hack has just been traced. So my hack has hit there, it started to do the hack, and now they're like, hey, someone's hacking us. So now they're basically gonna it's sort of like they're gonna just climb back to me and see if they can reach me in time. But it will complete before they have a chance to trace it back. Okay, I discovered the planet Sahar. So there's some unique planets in this game that that have this special icon like that. So they're usually special in some way. So this one's really good at production. But my gripe with it is that it's just one planet. I'm less into that. All right, so we got some food on the home system now. So now we can grow our warriors big and strong. All right, I think I'm ready to spend this. So ta-da! And here we have a nice, lovely system here. So I'm gonna do the drone networks as usual, followed by that. Oh, I see. That's interesting. Again, I have not played the Hissho, but one of their abilities is that they get access to this building, which basically makes it so this system doesn't produce anything while it's active, and you can turn it off at any time. But 50% of the 50% of the food and industry is converted into 25%. So basically, it's sliced a couple times, so it's not really crazy. But then they're pushed back to the home system. So you can make your home system kind of very scary and strong by giving it all this production, which is very handy for things like wonders and things like that, where you really need piles and piles of production. So now you can see here, my system is all grown up. It's got its own little red. If I wanted to colonize Pisces, what would I need here? They got a large Arctic, medium ice, and a huge gas. Very cold system here. I might colonize that one. It's only 3, which is fine. But it's better than the competition, to be honest. So this guy is all ready for action, so I'm gonna have him head to Pisces to get ready to scan that. Peregrine, I guess I'm gonna have him shoot a probe in the home system here. I guess on the snow planet. Metallic waters, that's interesting. And then there's science for me. That's probably a good spot to call it for this part. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll try to be less droning on and having more action next time, but you know, it's one of those things you just kind of get it out of the way. So I think we're good for now, and have a good one.